All right. Hi, Katie. My name is Jennifer. I am your therapist. Um, uh, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Hi, okay, where to start? So I'm 28, I'll be 29 this year, in a couple months actually. It's really scary to say. I recently moved back to Tucson, had lived away for a little while, but decided to come back, be closer to family and friends and stuff, just as I was getting older.
Nice.
Um, Started a new job a couple months ago.
Yeah, how's that going?
Um, It's been stressful. It's definitely it's a lot different than the job I was in before. They put a lot more pressure on before I was. So I'm a mortgage processor.
Okay.
So I work with loans, and before it was much more focused on like just getting them done, and I had a lot of work, but it wasn't as high stakes. And now it's nice because I make a lot more money, which is awesome, but there's a little bit more like competitive nature. So it's definitely struggling a little bit there.
Okay.
Um, so it's definitely been an adjustment, and I'm not 100% sure I want to stay at the job.
Okay.
Um,
Is
but
that um you struggling with job stress? Is that one of your biggest stressors right now, or do you have other things that, you know, you would like to seek help with?
I think job stress is definitely, I'm sure there's, I mean, you're the counselor, you'll probably tell me there's a list of other issues as we go. But I think job stress is definitely kind of my primary focus. It's definitely been, I was talking with friends about it, and I think they're just getting tired of hearing me.
Okay.
Um, and I'm definitely feeling kind of like a burden, keep telling them. So one of them suggested, like, hey, go see a therapist and like sort it out. So I figured this was maybe a good time and use the health insurance from the company at least. So
Right. Sounds like you don't have a whole lot of support from your friends. Do you have any other family support system, or do you have, what does your support system look like?
yeah, so my friends, I mean, they're good, but they're very like solutions.
Hmm.
So like, and they're all in different fields. So they're very quick to like, well, just quit,
Right,
uh, or just go back to this, or just find something else. And
right.
you know, I I don't want to necessarily quit. So I definitely feel like it's hard to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I've been at this job for 4 months now.
Okay.
So they've listened to me for 4 months. I don't want to keep burdening them.
Right.
I just feel like this total, like, they're super annoyed with me. It's a total burden on them.
Yeah.
Um, my family's, they don't fully understand.
Right.
My sister just graduated from college, so she's always kind of looked down on my career because I didn't go to college.
Right.
So she kind of
That,
just like doesn't think I could be stressed.
right. That
Um,
that sounds super super tough. Do you
yeah, yeah, I think.
do you have anybody, because I completely relate to, if you don't have um people that can relate to what you do, it's hard for them to understand your stress. Do you have anybody at work that you're close with?
So I had a coworker at my old job who I stay in touch with, and she's been supportive. She's been in the field for 20 or 30 years.
Nice.
So she's been supportive and encouraging. I think at work it's hard because of coronavirus.
Right.
So I was at work for a couple weeks, 2 weeks, I think, in training, and then got sent home. So and then I've gone back to the office, gone back home, and then now we're back, but we're social distancing.
Right.
So I
Do you,
really don't feel too much support. My direct supervisor, I shouldn't say that. My direct supervisor is pretty kind, but
right.
she's really busy all the time, and I feel like just this bother who keeps coming to her.
Yeah. No, I
So
can't
I don't
even.
have as much support there.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what that's like, starting a new job and being thrown completely into a whole new world, with your social world being upside down, and then, trying to adjust to a new um, company. Yeah, I can't even imagine what that's like for you. Um, what do you like to do when you're not at work?
So my family always gives me a hard time because I'm very work driven.
Yeah.
Uh, and this job definitely demands a lot more. So I have to work some Saturdays and I can work after hours and I get paid for it. But they
Okay.
always give me a hard time that I'm working too much.
Yeah.
But when I'm not, I like to read. I'm a really big reader, so I love reading. That's kind of my like sanctuary. Uh,
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll go out again. Usually, I would go over to like friends' houses or out with my family or go see a movie or do a new
Yeah.
restaurant. So I haven't been able to do that with coronavirus, but definitely before that was a big part of my life as well.
Okay. Um, so would you say then part of the stress right now is not having a division of time? Because, you bring work home with you and you don't have that space, or do you get to leave your work at work, besides working the extra hours?
Yeah, I mean, hearing you say that, yeah, I definitely bring it home more. At my old job, I was just on laptops. So it
Right.
just, when I left at 5, I couldn't bring it home. So I'd think
Right.
about some of them or like, oh, I need to do this in the morning, but I really couldn't work extra.
Okay.
And at this job, they've given me a laptop because they kind of expect you to work at home.
Okay.
So, I mean, I get home at like 6 o'clock, I'll eat dinner, and then usually I work for another hour or two after. So it's definitely been, and I definitely like I have a hard time drawing the line. It's like I know this could wait till morning, but I'm already on the computer, so I might as well finish it. And not being sure really what should wait. So I definitely am working way more hours than I did at the other job.
Is that something you would like to work on to try and be able to set that boundary so that you can just be done, after you're done with work, and, prioritize what can be done in the morning so that you get that mental break from work? Is that something you'd be interested in working out how to do?
Absolutely. My friends always give me a hard time that I don't have boundaries
Right.
anywhere really. So I think like work is definitely where it shows the most.
Okay.
So it's definitely something, and I mean, I feel so guilty about it because I'm new and I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
But I know I'm gonna, my friends keep telling me like, you're gonna burn out and you're gonna get exhausted of this. And so I mean, I definitely need to.
Right.
Uh,
So building up to a point where you can establish boundaries at work, that's something really big. We need to start with something small. So that way you can um, get to the point where you can just say, no, it's 6 o'clock, I'm done. This can wait till morning. Nobody's going to lose something over this. Um, what is something maybe that you think you would be able to start small with as far as setting boundaries? Do you have, um, I guess, what are some things that you have trouble setting boundaries with so that we can figure out where you can start small with, um, before you can get to the ability to be like, no, this is my time. I'm going to be done until tomorrow.
yeah. Where to start? I definitely have issues with like, so I have my best friend gives me a hard time about it. I have access to my email on my phone,
Okay.
so I check it even on
Okay.
like Sunday morning or Sunday night just to like I don't do anything with it. I just flag them.
Okay.
But I do find that like I'll get up at 5:30 and I check my email right away.
Okay.
And even before I go to bed, I check it just to make sure and like kind of sort through it. So that's definitely different from my old job. I get to work early and
Okay.
then I'm willing to stay late.
Okay.
I mean, my hours are 8 to 5, but I've been there this last couple weeks till 6:30, getting there at like 7:30. So I think even the time, um, definitely saying no. Like, if my my supervisor was like, hey, will you take on this loan as well? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, of course. Like, yeah, I'll take it.
So,
Um,
so
so I
my
think
question,
that's been hard.
yeah. Um, do you, I guess my question is, why do you have your email linked to your phone? Because you have that, you can access that on your laptop, correct?
Yes.
So how come you have it linked to your phone?
I think I'm really scared to miss anything.
Okay,
They're a lot more professional and structured at this job. So
okay,
I feel like it's a lot more like almost cutthroat, where
okay.
like I had like the other week, one of the processors, so like a loan comes in, goes to the processor, then I get it and deal with the member. And I guess a member had called the processor or the loan officer just to ask some
Mhm.
questions. And he sent an email to my supervisor and the branch manager and our team lead, like throwing me under the bus
Mhm.
for not answering these. So I feel like I don't want to miss like an email from a member because then someone else might jump on it or
Right.
like use that against me. Um, and then feeling like I just need, like, I don't know where the boundaries are, and everyone at work kind of works overtime. So feeling like, oh, if I'm not checking or not on it, then it could, like, I look bad.
Right. Um, do you think it's possible that that comes from maybe not thinking you're good enough for the job, or that you're not as good as the other people that you work with, or is it just that um, you want to keep up with everybody that you work with?
Yeah, so you definitely, like, that first part is definitely true.
Okay.
I came from a really small branch where it was me and like two other processors, and like we had like five people on our team, and
Right.
really the branch focused on other stuff. And so I was really good at it there.
Right.
Uh, but I'd kind of fallen into it. I took on a job as a receptionist and then just kind of moved up. So I have no formal training or anything. So I really took this new job to kind of challenge myself to see if I could do it and if I am good at this job.
Right.
And so I think I definitely feel like I'm not. And,
So,
the first few weeks have been hard with that.
oh yeah. No, I can definitely understand that. Um, so here's my question to you. If there's a lot of people looking for jobs right now, if they didn't think you could do it, do you think they would have given you the position? Like if they didn't know that you were capable of keeping up with everybody else on the team, don't you think they would have not given you the position to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely, I mean, I have some skills at it, and I interviewed really well, and they were really like impressed and seemed to think I was a good fit.
Yeah.
And like one of my old coworkers is the one who recommended me for the job, so she talked me up a lot, and then they were really excited about me coming. So I think that it's been nice because they were really excited for me to be there, and there's all this hype, like, oh, you're Katie, like you're the
Yeah.
one that everyone's talking about.
Right.
But I think feel like, oh gosh, like what if I fail? Like they keep thinking I'm this great processor, and
Right.
what if I'm not?
Right.
But
So,
but no,
go
I
ahead.
don't. I don't know that they did have other applicants. I know they interviewed like four other people. So I mean, they definitely did pick me,
Yeah.
which is I think what you were kind of. I think they
Yeah.
definitely did choose like out of those people, but I don't know what those people's like applications look like.
Right. So, it sounds like some of this also stems from possible insecurities. And I'm wondering if maybe that could be the root of your boundaries, just not feeling like you have the power enough to be like, no, this is for me. Um, we have about 15 minutes left in the session. Um, so I know being able to set boundaries is one of your goals. Are there any other goals that you were hoping to get? Um, or were there any other things you were hoping maybe to work on during treatment?
I think, like you said, I think boundaries is a big one, but I think hearing you kind of mention insecurity definitely hits home. I think that boundaries definitely bleeds into other areas. I have a really hard time like with my family or with my friends. And so I think definitely boundaries, but like, could we possibly do like more than just work boundaries? Like, could
Oh,
we talk
yeah.
about like with family and stuff too?
Oh, yeah. We can talk about whatever it is that you want. That's why I figured I would ask you what, um, I know you have an idea when coming into this session what you wanted to work on, and in reality, we'll cover so many different things. And boundaries is just the, I guess at this point would be the end game, being able to set them, and we can get to what um the root of what's stopping you from being able to set boundaries. I'm wondering if I can assign some homework to you before we come back for our next session. um, but before we get to that, I guess my question to you is, um, would you like to meet weekly with me?
Yeah, I think so this is my first time in therapy, so I am a little
Okay.
like I don't I mean I
Yeah.
know the
No.
image of therapy. Uh,
Yeah.
so I mean I've always been a little hesitant because I'm like, oh no, this isn't for me. I don't need all that. Like I can figure out how to manage stress and how
Yeah.
to set boundaries by myself. But I think I definitely want to like address it sooner rather than later. So would you kind of recommend weekly?
I think for to start with, let's definitely start with weekly. And we
Okay.
can definitely, I would say, at least for the first month, if not first 2 months, and then after that, we can reevaluate. If you're okay with going to every other week, or if you want to keep um, working weekly, then we can definitely keep doing that. Um, so my homework to you, if you think you can do it, and I don't know if I'm asking you to do something too big, um, would be to unattach your email from your work phone. And I mean, you can still check your email on your laptop because I know you need to. Um, but I wonder if you would feel comfortable removing your email from your phone. And if you're not ready for that yet, if that's too big, that's totally fair. I'm just curious if that's something fair to ask of you.
I I can try.
Okay.
I mean, I can definitely try. I
Well,
I can't guarantee that I won't like reinstall it, but I can definitely try.
so then what if we do this? What if we start with a compromise and remove it from your phone for an hour and see how you feel? It's probably going to cause a lot of anxiety and make you super super nervous. Um, so my question to you is then, during that hour, would you be able to, so do it during a time when you know you have an hour, and if possible, maybe read during that hour to try and distract you from the fact that you don't have that email there, and then after the hour you can put it back, but at least, or even if it has to be only 30 minutes, but I just want to see if how you do with being able to just detach for a minute, I guess. um does that seem fair?
Yeah, I like the idea. I was just gonna ask you because I definitely like I do have. I mean, I get everyone's always called it anxiety, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if that's what it is. But I do get kind of those like worried, like nervous type of situations. So I really like the idea of like reading during it because I was gonna say like if I have to just detach it, like
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna sit there worrying.
Oh, yeah.
But I haven't gotten to read as much as I used to, so I think I could definitely, I tend to like, once I start a chapter, like get into it. So I think that hour would go a lot quicker with
Yeah.
that there. So I think I think I can definitely do that easier than like completely just like
Yeah. Well,
turning
and
it off.
even if you do it maybe after you eat, because like you said, that's when you usually get back on. So maybe like right before dinner or right after you're done, just remove it from your phone and read for a little bit. And if you can't make it the full hour, that's totally fair. Um, let's make that your first goal. Um, and um, see how you do. And even if you only do it one day for 1 hour, that's huge. Um, I know we didn't get to dive into a lot today, but um, is you've got about, you know, I guess 8 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to talk about for a little bit? And it can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be about setting boundaries or whatever. Is there?
Yeah, so I'm wondering, you kind of mentioned like, so I'm wondering too, like about, I guess, with like the idea that hour, if like I can't read,
Mhm.
I guess kind of like maybe another goal would be like some stress management techniques of like what I can do.
Okay.
Everyone's always like, oh, take a deep breath, but it's like, okay, that didn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
So even just, I don't know, like, is that in your domain that you would have some ideas on like what I
Yeah.
could do?
So there's you could put music, listen to your favorite music to help distract you. There are some apps that will actually help you um, be more mindful or present in the moment, which helps distract you from the fact that you want to be thinking ahead or in the past at work. Um, One of them is called Headspace, I believe. Um, let's see. I guess really my question for you is when you start to feel nervous and anxious, is there something that you have tried before that seems to help you calm down, even if you can't get the thoughts out of your head? Is there something that you have tried before to help you calm down?
I think talking, like, now that you say that, like, I'm looking back on what I've done in the past, and I think usually, like, I'll text my best friend, or I'll go out and like, I'll call my mom or call my sister, and just, they don't have the most understanding about anxiety or like about that, the thoughts, like the
Right.
nervousness. But I think like I'll just talk to them about like, oh, how was your day, and kind of get like, I almost like take on their problems instead of
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, let me focus on your issue at school and your homework.
Right. Yeah, because it's easier to take on someone else's than acknowledge or have to want to dive into yours because that's super scary.
Yeah.
Because sitting in your own head is just that's scary. Um, what about, let's see, do you have any pets?
I do. I have a dog.
Do you? What about even taking the dog for a walk and listening to some music while taking the dog for a walk? Is that something you could do?
Yeah, I mean, my dog would love it. I don't
Right?
walk her. I don't spend nearly as much time with her as I would like. So I think
Right.
that would actually be really nice to like
Yeah, I don't. I've got
have
a
her
dog
go
too, and I
out.
don't walk him. He's super lazy, so I'm like, yeah, you don't need to walk. You're good. But yeah, no, that would be awesome. You know, and if you can't walk your dogs, even if you have to call your mom or your sister and take on their problems for a minute, or even just talk about absolute nonsense, whatever you need to do to help calm your mind for the moment. That's kind of the end goal with anxiety, to help make those worries go away is to calm your mind. So whatever you have to do to make that happen, um, I guess if you can also, write out a list, or not even, you don't even have to write it out, but if you can come up with a list next time of things that you tried, over the week to help calm your mind and what did and didn't work, then maybe we can go from there and see, what other um, ideas we can come up with for stress management. Um, Meditation is a big thing. If you can do that. For me, my meditation is actually watching mindless TV. It doesn't even have to be, it doesn't have to be the sit there with your eyes closed, thing, anything that can just help you clear your mind. So, like the reading or, you know, just an escape from reality for a minute. Um, Yeah, so that I guess that would be your homework then for the week is to, pay attention a little more to what you do to help clear your mind and, remember what does and doesn't work. And then if you can, at least for 1 hour between now and the next time I see you, shut off your phone for an hour. Or not even shut your phone off, sorry. Detach your email
Mm-hmm.
from your phone. Um, let's see, and then I guess I'll see you in a week. Um, and we can go from there and see, we can talk about whatever you want and talk about what worked and what didn't. Does that
Okay.
sound good?
Yeah, no, I have to say, like, I've always been scared of that, like, mindfulness meditation, like, idea, because I'm like, I can't sit still for an hour.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, hearing you say that, like, that's okay to just, like, watch a show, like, I'm like, oh, I already do that. Like, I can totally
Yeah.
do this for a week.
And
Uh,
it's the guilty pleasures. It doesn't, you know what I mean? Like the stuff that you don't have to think about.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, so I can definitely, okay, so writing down the skills I try and, like, just if they work or not, like, I don't have to
Yeah.
further. And then just even an hour trying to disconnect from my phone, the
Yeah.
email. I think I can do both of those. Yeah, I think that's pretty easy. Yeah, I can definitely
Okay.
do
And
those
if
for
you
next week.
fail miserably, then at least you tried. Because that's, trial and error is a big thing with therapy, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And that takes a lot of time. But it was really great to meet you, Katie. And I look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you. Bye.